ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यामनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी बोलो 1 second. Giriraj Ashraya just opened up for New Vrindavan 24 Kirtan. It's gonna sell out. Should we book? राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining. So, we started Nectar of Instruction last week. We will be starting verse 2 today. We'll recite it together. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhakti vinashyati. Translation. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following six activities. What are these activities? Why our devotional service gets spoiled? It's being mentioned here when we eat more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Interesting. So let's cover one by one and then we can dive deeper. Eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. So today's world is money, money, money. I want to earn more money. I want to have more bank balance. I want to have more properties. I want to have more investments. I want to have more stocks. I want to have more 401k. So in the course of more, unfortunately, that greedy mentality never goes away, and actually, the life goes away just like that. The life just flies by without even our notice. I was just thinking about it. We started Nectar of Instruction and we finished Bhagavad Gita. We actually, Naresh Prabhu, you joined later. Momita Matari joined even more later. We started this Bhagavad Gita study in 2008. So it took how many years? Sorry, not 2008. We started in 2018. So it took 7 years for us to finish Bhagavad Gita. But more than that, so much has changed. So much has changed. Whether we realize, we don't realize, we are getting old, we are getting closer to death, and then there are so many changes which has happened in our life, right? So time just flies by. So in the course of earning money, we actually forget the purpose of life, and that's the problem. And to earn more money, we have to spend more time because ultimately you can't earn money just like that. Your time is money, so you spend more time, and in the course of spending that more time, people can't take care of their health, and that's where the problem is. You can't gain back the health even if after you pay millions of dollars. There was there was a very rich person. He said, what was he was interviewed, and in the interview he asked him, if one thing you have to ask God, what will you ask? You know what he asked? He said, if one thing I have to ask God, I want to request him that I can pass urine without pain. Was a millionaire. He had some problem at the urination point, and he was just saying, if I can just pass pain free, that will be wonderful. So this life is so short, and in that short period of time we keep doing the same activities which is earning the money. We we spoke about this beautiful story about Mahamurkha. You remember, Naresh Prabhu, Mahamurkha story?
No, Prabhu, which one, Prabhu?
Yeah, I think you remember, you shared it other time. So Mahamurkha is, there was a king who actually said to his minister, find out the foolest person
Yeah, yeah, I
in
remember,
the whole
Prabhu. Yeah,
kingdom. You want to share?
the find the what is it? Find foolest person, right? Who is the
Correct.
fool?
Yeah, the biggest fool in the whole kingdom.
Yeah, finally he point out to the king itself, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, we'll come to that. Wonderful, no problem. So you got it. But let me just detail it out. So what happens is, so the minister goes search in the whole kingdom, and finally they find one guy. But before all this happened, the earlier times, in Vedic times, the king always have kul guru, a guru who will always guide him. So the guru was trying so hard to preach the king, but the king was so caught up. He was like, just I want to enjoy life. Why I have to do all this stuff? So anyway, so these ministers found the biggest fool in the whole kingdom, and then they brought it to king, and then king, after few questions, he realized, yeah, he's fool number one, perfect. So now on, you just roam around. This is a stick, you hold that stick and roam around. Time passed by, and king was on his deathbed. So he said, okay, let me call all my minister, let me call all the people who are working for me and bid them farewell, saying that, just take care of them. So finally he said, why don't you bring that Mahamurkha? So that Mahamurkha came, and then he was like, you say, king, he was asking king, so you're leaving, you have a last minute? He said, yeah. He said, why don't you take why don't you carry why don't you go with your wives? So king became angry. He said, are, I cannot take my wife when I die. Oh, okay, so maybe you need horses and camels, you have, right? Because it will be a long journey, you would need that. Are Murkha, I can't even take that. Are, take some money, you may need it on the way. Are, I can't take it. He said, anyway, I'm just sick of it. Why don't you go and find out another Murkha, and I'll pay you the commission. I'll pay you the retirement. You're retired now. I'll pay you the, what is that after retirement they pay? I forgot the term. What do we call it? Pension. I'll give you pension. So this Mahamurkha gives the stick to the king, and king says, what do you mean? He says, you are Mahamurkha because whole life you spend your time and energy earning money, taking care of these, enjoying this life. You didn't realize that not going to take any of this with you, but you are living thinking that, oh, this is the purpose of life. And king realized he's not a Mahamurkha. He said, who are you? He said, your guru tried to preach you, but you are not understanding. So I am his disciple. He told me to teach you in this way. So that's the one important thing, which is, when we collect more than required. Now one may say, what is the meaning of, what is the definition? How can I define this is enough for me, or this is more than what I need? Right? That's an interesting question. The question here is that, while let me connect this verse to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says, I forgot the words, number, and the verse. It says, but the meaning is that everyone has a quota. Everyone has a quota. What does that mean? Everyone is destined to go through whatever has to go through and destined to earn whatever money he has in his quota. Irrelevant of however much effort you put. A lot of times people put day and night effort but can't make money. But some people will just put little effort and they become rich. So everyone has their quota. So what is the meaning? I don't know my quota, how much I'm supposed to earn. Well, that's not the key question here. The key question here is, if I'm working from 9 to 5, what do I do after 5 p.m.? Do I watch YouTube? Do I watch Netflix? Do I do shopping? Do I just lay down watch movie? I just do time pass, doing on Instagram, going on Facebook, going on WhatsApp, just doing a time pass. If the answer is yes, this is the problem. When we not utilize our time remembering Krishna and spending our rest of the time remembering Krishna and serving Krishna, that is exactly opposite. Which means this money which is bringing, there is a very interesting line which I heard and I was just super very interesting line. This person was speaking, a devotee was saying, if today Srimati this is actually the CEO of Mafatlal Industry. He said if Mother Sita comes on the door, the first question I'll ask is, are you the Sita which came to Ayodhya or are you the Sita who came to Lanka? Very interesting thing, right? The Mother Sita which came to Ayodhya, she brought prosperity. But same Mother Sita when she came to Lanka, she created destruction. What was the difference? The difference was there was no Lord Ram along with Mother Sita in Lanka, but there was Lord Ram with Mother Sita in Ayodhya. So, when people earn money but do not give importance to devotional service, that becomes the cause of destruction. But when the same money is worshipped, same money comes and then it is worshipped with devotional service, practiced with devotional service, that becomes prosperity. That's why bhakti is not a spare wheel, bhakti is a steering wheel. Our problem is that we try to put bhakti as a spare wheel, that's why we struggle so much. So, what one should do? One should eat as much as needed. I don't want to focus on eating because we covered in last week's class the demands of the tongue. That the demands of the tongue are, hey, I want to eat more. I want to eat more. I though I know these things do not suit me, but I want to eat. I have a problem too, to be honest. So when we do atyahara means overeating or too much collecting, that actually spoils bhakti. What is second one? Endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. I live in two-bedroom house. I need a five-bedroom house. Though I don't have my salary enough for that purpose, but I want to overdo because I want it. Right? So doing an over endeavor for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. I was just talking to one of the realtor just last week itself. I have property in Canada which I'm trying to sell and whatever it is. So he was just offering saying that we can sell for you, whatever it is. So I said, I made a mistake, purchase this property at a high property. Well, you are not alone. I have a client who purchased the property and now actually bank is about to take it because he couldn't do the payment. He's not able to do his monthly payment and bank is about to basically do a foreclosure, take his property. So when we over ender for mundane things which are very difficult to obtain, That actually destroys bhakti because, again, you don't have a time. Talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. What is Trump going to do now? Is he going to bring good things for us or no? What all changes he is bringing? What happens with this war? What happens with that war? What happened here? And that's how we actually destroy our time. That's how we lose our time, which is so precious. So it's very important that we understand what I should be speaking about. Job is one aspect. Yes, we need to do the job, but restrict our communication only till that point. And rest of the time, when we get time, we read scriptures and hear scriptures and speak from there. The fourth one is practicing the scriptural rules and regulation only for sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulation of scripture working independently or whimsically. Why do I have to chant 16 rounds? Who said 16 rounds? Where is it written in Bhagavad Gita? Why I have to say Hare Krishna only? Why not this mantra? So we twist spirituality for what purposes? For our benefits, mundane benefits versus spiritual advancement. A lot of time people come to the temple. Why do they come to the temple? They have material desires. Why do they follow certain Ekadashi? Now just last to last Ekadashi is Putra Kamada Ekadashi, which means any woman who is looking for a son, she can observe that Ekadashi, she'll get son. So everything we do, not for spiritual advancement, but for my welfare. Oh, everything has to go well. I want to abide by God's law out of fear rather than out of love, just for the sake of doing things. That's not true bhakti. So that's the thing. And then modifying the rules based on our own thing. Like I remember, I I was in Pune and I came for a short assignment to North Carolina, and then went with one devotee to some other place, far away place, was like at least 3 hours drive, and we were staying at one another devotee's house, and we were going outside for something, and I saw an interesting thing. He had a clicker and he was chanting on that while driving. So clicker is, you don't have a beats, you count on clicker how many this thing. So I saw him. Oh, this is interesting. Can you chant while driving? So this other devotee whom I went with, so we two went there to this devotee's house, and then we were just discussing after, like I was just talking to this devotee, and I asked him, Prabhu, and he was senior to me. Prabhu, I saw clicker. I didn't know that we can chant. Bole, no, Prabhu, you can't chant on clicker. Chanting is a dedicated service to Krishna. We don't just chant while doing other activities. We chant by focusing our hearing of mantra and closing our eyes and meditating on Krishna. If you can't meditate, just hear, try to hear attentively. So, what happens is that people customize. Again, I'm not trying to criticize that. I was about to follow and I started following, and then I was just told saying that no, you shouldn't be doing that. Like one time I remember we were coming back from Lansing Rath Yatra back to Detroit, and it was very late because there was a lot of services. So I was just very busy in all the services, and I had few rounds remaining. So I was driving, and I'm like, by the time I reach, I'm so dead tired. It'll be 11:30 or something, and I'll be sleepy. I won't be able to finish my round. So I started again doing while driving. I'm like, okay, this is highway. I can focus and all that stuff. So there was one brahmachari sitting next to me. Prabhu, you park the car ahead. I will drive you chant. So we don't modify the rules of scriptures based on our convenience. I think this is okay. It's okay if you can't chant 16 rounds someday. You took a vow in front of spiritual master. That's okay. You sometimes skip. That's okay if you go out. Sometimes you drink tea or something like that. That's okay. Onion garlic, huh? What to do if we go out? So we customize based on this thing. Again, I'm not saying we should do or we shouldn't do. Based on our level, whatever commitment we gave, we should continue and we should stick on that one. What is fifth one? Associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. What happens when we come to Krishna consciousness? We still have our old friends, and then we still have relationships with them. Nothing wrong with it. But then what do we do in their association is we talk worldly affairs. Hey, did you hear about this talk? Do you know how many people this company fired? You know how what is the salary in Silicon Valley? So we talk about mundane topics for which we neither have a control, neither it is going to benefit me. Say for an example, you are living in Detroit, you are living in Dallas, or you're living in Toronto. Hey, you know what? New Jersey, there was one guy who drove at the speed of 115 and he crashed the bus and the bus guy died. And whatever. Neither I'm living in New Jersey, neither that guy was my relative, neither I drive at that speed, but I want to talk about mundane topics. Did you see this movie? Did you hear about this hero? And that's why that's how we pollute our consciousness. That's why these things spoil our devotional service. That is the first line came in. And the last one is being greedy for mundane achievements. I'll give you my example. I was before coming to Krishna consciousness, but very very long back. So when I was living in my hometown, um, I didn't have a good educational background in terms of I didn't score very high grades and all that stuff. But I my dream company was Oracle. That I want to get into that company. During that time, that was like the number one company. So that company came to my hometown for interview, and whole night I studied because I'm like, finally I get an opportunity. And then when I went for an interview, you take your CV with you, and when I just put my CV in front of whoever was the person who was shortlisting before going for an interview, he rejected or she rejected. Oh, you don't have this much percentage, we cannot interview. But I know Oracle very well. I mean, this thing, no. You don't have sufficient percentage, we will not get you in. Came out crying. Array, I wanted to really apply, and they could have interviewed me. I could have shown my skills. In the anger, I came out one and I took a vow. One day, I will work hard to get into the interview. I'll clear all the interviews and I will reject their offers. Mundane achievement. So time passed by, 8 passed, career went high, went to good great companies. Finally, one time Oracle sent me request saying that would you be interested. I gave one interview, two interview, I gave seven interviews, I cleared seven interviews. And they offered me, they gave me an offer letter, whatever position. And I had my wow. One day I'll get into this company, I'll this thing, and I will reject their offer. And I reject their offer, and I was feeling great. I rejected this offer. Mundane achievements, useless effort. Shramahi eva kevalam. What is that? Whatever shram you do, eva kevalam, useless. I want to get into this company. I want to get into. I want to buy a house in posh colony. I want to show off in my hometown. This is what I have. I want to show. I bought BMW to show people that I have this car. So this is a problem. Being greedy for mundane achievements. How do people know? And you know what happens? Even on the name of spirituality, people think, oh, look at me, how much I know. Look at me, how many services I do. So though are spiritual activities, but we bring them to the mundane level and we compare from mundane perspective. Let's see how much achievement I have, how many people know me, how many people offer respect to me. This is the big problem, right? So this verse is emphasizing again, just to summarize, or at least before going through the purport, that these are the things which spoil our devotional service: eating more than what we should eat and acquiring more money than what we need, over rendering for mundane things which are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane things, practicing the scriptural rules for what purpose? For following, just for following them, not for spiritual advancement, and associating with worldly people, and last, being greedy for mundane achievement. Prabhupada writes, human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. Our slogan is completely opposite slogan. What is that? High living, simple thinking. And in the course of high living, we struggle so much. And I'm just talking about myself. I still remember the days when I would just earn 1200 rupees a month, and I would feel I'm the luckiest person and I'm the richest person, because what do I need? I don't need more than that. And I would still save some money. And now, in spite of thousand times more than that, it feels like, oh, maybe I would have more money. What is lost is the satisfaction is lost. In the course of earning more money, what is lost is satisfaction. One time, Gandhiji was going in a boat, and there was one guy who was very envious of Gandhiji. So he wrote something on a paper, closed it, and enveloped, put it in the envelope, and put the paper pin. What is whatever we call it as push pin, whatever paper pin, the whatever is the pin, right? And he went to Gandhiji and gave it to him, and came back and sat on his place, watching what Gandhiji is going to react to it. Gandhiji opened the paper. This guy blasphemed Gandhiji very bad way. He wrote a lot of bad things in that. What Gandhi did, took the pin out of that, put it in the pocket, and threw the paper. And this guy got frustrated because he realized what is important for me in this is not the content. Forget about whatever is he has written. That's just a throwaway, but maybe pin I'll be able to use later. That is how one has to actually practice simple living and high thinking. What is high thinking? High thinking does not mean here to earn more money. High thinking is, how can I deliver myself from the cycle of birth and death? At the end of the day, earlier times people used to say in Hindi, roti, kapda, or makan. How many rotis we can eat? Maybe two or maximum four. We don't need that much money and all that stuff for just eating two chapatis. And even if I'm eating four, over the time it will become two and it will become one, because my digestion system will not support. So what's the use of that? Right? So that is what is being spoken. Since all conditioned living, we are under the control of Lord's third energy, which is external energy, we are working so hard. Right? We have three energies: Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Tathastha Shakti. Antaranga Shakti is the spiritual energy. Bahiranga Shakti is the external energy, Mahamaya. And Tathastha Shakti is the Shakti which is us, Jiva. We should be going towards Krishna, the internal energy, but we are being redirected towards the external energy. Right? What did Krishna say? O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of divine nature, which is internal energy. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Mahatma means what? Who are broad minded, not cripple minded. What is cripple minded means? Satisfying the senses. Somehow expand my activities. You see, so many options are there. Yes, just before the weekend came Friday, Someone was asking a question. So what's the plan for weekend? Another guy said, I'm going to the escape room. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is great. I went last year. That's great. And then Monday they are asking, so what did you do in escape room? I did X and Y. We have no idea that our soul is stuck inside the body, from one body to another body. We never think about how do I escape from the cycle of birth and death. But we do go to escape room to somehow feel I want to enjoy. That's the unfortunate aspect of it. I'm not saying we shouldn't go, but the point which I'm trying to bring in is this is the thing: sense gratification. Actually, all this is, and then sometimes people going from family, they go extended at the country level. Oh, I'm Indian. I want to do that for my country and this. So from that above quote, we talk about Daivim Prakritim refers to the control of internal potency or pleasure potency of the Lord. This pleasure potency manifested as Srimati Radharani, and she maintains everything. And her expansion is Lakshmi Devi. When we are under the control of Srimati Radharani, then we do everything for the pleasure of Krishna or Lord Vishnu. That's the position. This is the position of Mahatma. Indeed, all the living entities within this material under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries. What are the threefold miseries? Miseries caused by sufferings caused by demigods such as drought, earthquakes, and storms, suffering caused by other living entities like insects or enemies, and suffering caused by one's body and mind, such as mental and physical infirmities. So we are struggling in every aspect, but we still want to enjoy, we want to live in this world, right? We are stuck in the cycle of birth and death. So, how do we get out? By practicing Krishna consciousness. Like we were talking about, everyone requires possessions such as food, grains, clothing, money, and other things for the maintenance of the body. But one should not collect more than necessary for the actual basic needs. Right? Like in this is mentioned, the living entity lower on the evolutionary scale do not eat or collect more than necessary. There is a very interesting thing which was noticed. One time, one person, he had rice bags. So he kept few rice bags on the street and was hiding and watching. A dog came, took little rice here and there, and just went off. A cat came, took little rice. All the animals and even birds, they took few and then they went away. One boy, one person came passing through that street. He saw the bags. What did he do? He brought a car or he brought a vehicle. He loaded all the rice grains and then went with them. What is the mentality? The animals, if you see lion or tiger, they will not kill animal when they are not hungry, because I will only kill when I'm hungry and I'll eat them and I'll leave the rest. My stomach is full, I'll move out. But what do people do, human? I will take this, let me pack it, I will use it later. Right? That is what is being spoken. That whole bag is taken. We will eat, little stomach is there. How much it can hold? Very little. But I want to collect and keep it. That's the mentality. Collecting and eating more than necessary, also called prayasa. Like I was speaking about, by God's will, anyone in this part of the world can live very peacefully if he has some land, milk, and cow. There is no need for man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood. Today, traffic is the biggest problem. Most of us, or all of us, waste so much of time in commuting because work is far, I live far, I have to commute, and I lose my precious time in that one. So that's the problem. You see, that's the problem today. This is, we are trying to solve economic problems, but keeping not Krishna in the center, we struggle so much. Right? Human being given a higher intelligence for this purpose. Those who believe that the higher intelligence meant to attain higher state, Like you have a Porsche, and then you plow your field with Porsche. You People will laugh at you. "Hey, what are you doing, man? Porsche is not to plow the field. That car is to drive, not like a truck, not like a tractor. Don't use it like that." This is a unfortunate situation of us. We are using for same purpose, right? That is being spoken here. So, first step in human civilization consists of occupational engagement performing according to scriptural injunction. That's okay. Whatever position we have, we perform that, but we minimize our needs, right? However much we need, we just need a little bit. We just take from there. And then talking unnecessary. Mix with few friends. We immediately begin unnecessary talking, sounding like crocking toads. We talked about that. If we must talk, we should talk about Krishna and speak and hear about Krishna, and try to avoid associating with people who have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness and who degrade our consciousness, right? And too much endeavor to acquire knowledge on the part of again, this is not applicable to us, but a lot of people who wants to collect knowledge just for the sake of doing it, working so hard on that, and accepting scriptural rule and regulation for immediate benefit. For an example, it's called as niyamagra, neglecting the rules and for shastra which are mean for spiritual development. The eagerness to accept and agra means failure to accept. By the addition of either of these two words, word niyama, those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept and rules and regulation for economic advancement. That's why Prabhupada said, don't do gambling. No need. Right? So that's what is being spoken. Any questions or comments? Okay. We will read text 3. We will see how much we can cover. We will read Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairyat
Utsaha nischayadhairyat
Tat Karma Pravartanat
tattat karma pravartanat
Sangatyagat Sato Vrite
sangatyagat satavritte
Sadbir Bhakti Prasiddhyati.
sadbir bhaktir prasidyati.
So we in the first two verses we talked about what to do and what not to do, specifically what not to do. This verse is speaking about there are six principles favorable to execution of pure devotional service. If you remember the previous verse, what are the six things? Let me read again. What are the six things? Do spoil when becomes too integral? Six activities. What are the six activities which spoil devotional service? And now the next one is what are the six things which are favorable for devotional service, which helps you to grow and grow in bhakti and go towards Krishna. Very important, because once I understood know what not to do, I need to know what to do then. So first is being enthusiastic. Enthusiastic about what? Earning money? No. Being enthusiastic about practicing devotional service. Krishna, I'm so excited. I want to chant 16 rounds today. Please bless me so that I can be attentive. Enthusiastic about going for temple programs. Enthusiastic about performing various parts of devotional service. Enthusiastic about attending Mangala Aarti. Enthusiastic about following, reading more scriptures, reading more time. So, this is very important. One has to be enthusiastic to practice devotional service. Imagine I give a class. So, today I want to speak on Bhagavad Gita. How would you feel? You feel, man, what? Does he have energy to speak or not? What is he talking about? Or you go to a shop. There are two shops. One shop you want, oh, sorry, let me go to this. So, you go to a shop and you want something from that shop, and the shopkeeper comes and asks you, how are you? What do you want? I'll bring it for you. And he brings it there. And then he also suggests you maybe there is a better product which is cheaper and better. And now imagine you go to another shop, you come to the shop, this guy is lying on the chair like this, putting the feet on the table. So, what do you want, sir? I want this. Go and find it. Which shop will you go? First or second? Anybody?
Can you repeat one more time, Prabhuji?
So the first shop you go, you enter, the shopkeeper smiles, welcomes you. Welcome to our shop, sir. How are you today? How can we serve you? I want XYZ things. Sir, wait here, sit here, we will get it for you. He brings XYZ and asked for a particular brand. He brings another one that says, sir, this is cheaper and better. I would suggest you that. This is first shop. You go to the second shop, this guy is sitting like that, putting the feet on the table. So, what do you want, sir? I want this. Go and take it from there. Which shop will you go?
Obviously, the first one, Prabhuji.
Why?
First part is he was welcoming, like his nature,
Customer service.
kind.
He's
Yes,
enthusiastic. He wants to sell. He goes out of his way to actually sell, enthusiastic. And when we practice bhakti, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And second one, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, if Krishna has to observe, whom will Krishna appreciate? The first guy or second guy?
the second guy.
Why? For him, he understand. I want to be enthusiastic because this is holy name. So imagine even the cheap you to buy just a soap or like something you to go to shop you be become choosy in devotional service how much one has to be enthusiastic. You see people are so crazy about customer service like you like if I like sorry I'm not quoting this thing but I just want to share an example. You have Walmart or Target, even though Walmart is cheaper, if Target is there you will go and buy from Target. Why? Our customer service is great. Even for small things, we prefer to have good thing. Why not we be enthusiastic about that? And that's the first quality one should have. Anything we do, we should be enthusiastic. Even coming for Bhagavad Gita class, even listening Bhagavad Gita class. I don't have an enthu. I'll tell you a reality. 80% of the enthusiasm the speaker comes from listeners. How listeners are attentive. Now imagine Naresh Prabhu is giving class and I'm sitting. What am I showing here? I have nothing to do with. I'm just somehow forced to sit here. That's why I'm listening. And that's why when there is a highest destination awaiting for us, and when we are performing an activity, like imagine you go for your appraisal review and you did well, and now in appraisal review you're sitting in front of boss. You will wear nice clothes. You will sit there very enthusiastically, smile at him and ask, cracks few jokes, create a jovial environment. Arey, my appraisal review is going to come. Just 1 year. Here our life is dependent on this. What birth I'm going to take? Am I going to have to suffer through again the birth and death? And my enthusiasm is very low here. That's why enthusiasm is a key for bhakti. Endeavoring with confidence, we will read that. Being patient. Arey, at least I have to work on it. I confess on that part. When will I see Krishna? When? Like I remember I take another class, Hindi class, Bhagavad Gita. There was one lady who came. Unless I don't see Krishna, I will not chant a Krishna's name. He came to see Arjuna. Once he comes, I'll see him, then only I'll practice bhakti. Are, who are you? Look at Arjuna's caliber. You are not Arjuna. You are not one of Pandavas for which Krishna becomes a messenger. So that's very important. One has to be patient that I one day, this holy name, when I chant with so much of devotion, Krishna personally manifests in front of my eyes. You know, so one should have a patient in bhakti. It doesn't happen just like that. Acting according to regulatory principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran, one should hear, chant, and remember Krishna. Very important. I'll tell you, if you do not read, if you do not hear, one day the same philosophy will become a burden for you. Or you will probably use the same philosophy to prove out yourself and criticize others. Recently, I was just shocked, completely shocked. I don't want to quote the names, but I was just shocked. So this person is practicing devotional service for many years. Second initiated, doing a lot of services. One person, and he is like staying whatever. One person, whatever it's one another person who's about to be a devotee. This devotee gave him left and right. How dare you came here and you stayed here? What is your this thing you came here? And this person is saying, sorry, I'm just tired. I just came. No, get lost from here. Now, what kind of behavior are you doing? The world does not need your beadback showing that I'm chanting 16. World needs the transformation of character. How much transformation has happened in your heart? How much better person you have become? That attracts people, right? Not this external things that what am I doing? Why? Because that person don't read scriptures, doesn't hear classes, just doing seva. Oh, I'll do deity worship, I'll do this. When one does not take, when one takes devotees cheaply, slowly he will take his guru cheaply, and he will take Krishna cheaply. But a person who understands that devotees are the assets, they are the one who will pray for me, he will never take devotees cheaply, and that's how he will never take guru cheaply and will never take Krishna cheaply. Very important. Abandoning the association of non-devotees, exactly opposite to what we read in previous. Very important. We may say hi. Association means we don't influence ourselves with their thoughts. Hey, have you watched this movie? Can we go? I'll tell you what is the secret about this movie. Hey, I don't want to hear. Don't talk about the movie. So though he is there in my high hello list, but he should not influence my thought. Right? He say, oh Naresh, you are earning $100 per hour. You're wasting your time doing Bhagavad Gita class for 1 hour. You could earn $100 per hour, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 22. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's influence. I got influenced by the thought. Why are you doing this? किसका भला हुआ है हरे कृष्ण नाम जप के? And oh, yeah, I think I should not chant. That's very important. Abandoning the non-devotee, following the footsteps of previous acharya. How Srila Prabhupada led his life, how other acharyas have left. how they have set up themselves. How did Parikshit Maharaj? What happened to Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj, when he was told he's going to die in 7 days, 7 nights, he left to Mother Ganga and started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. He knew at least he's going to live 7 days. We don't even know if he will live 7 seconds. But we live like we are going to live here for millions of lives. That's a problem. So these are the 6 devotional services which complete success of pure devotional service. They give a pure, completely pure devotional service. What is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu saying? Anya Vilashata Sunyam Jnana Karma Dhiyanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama. What is that? What is a Uttama Bhakti? Or unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Lord? Rendering of devotion in a way that is favorable to the Lord. We need to understand what is favorable for me in life. Every decision we make, everything I do, I have to see whether this is taking me towards Krishna or taking me far away from Krishna. And the devotional should be any free from extraneous motive. Hey, I don't want anything out of it. Why do you wash vessels? We are definitely going to miss you, Naresh Bro. We think, oh no, because devotees will see, look at him. He's such a sharp guy, such an intelligent guy, but comes for this to earn the name. No, that's not what am I doing for. And devoid of fruit karma, thinking about mujhe isse kya milega, right? That is how it is thing. Bhakti is sort of cultivation. As soon as we cultivation, we must refer to activity. We want to perform devotional service, not that, oh, I do bhakti, but I don't do any service. No, bhakti means devotional service. One should not just sit idly meditating, oh, yeah, I am doing that. One should do service, right? So, 9 process of devotional service very important. Hearing the name, these are the devotional activities which we can perform daily. Hearing the name and glories of Supreme Personality of God, which we are doing now. Chanting His glories, talking about His pastime, remembering the Lord, we are doing that now. Serving the Lord's feet, deities you serve, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances every morning, at least 3 times one should offer obeisances. I have to work on that as well. Acting as Lord's servant, not as a master. Making friends with the Lord. What does friend mean? Not that, oh, how are you? Not like that. Friends is, how can I serve you? That's real friendship. And surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shravanam is hearing. The first step is hearing. That's what we are doing. When you hear, then you will meditate. Then you will apply. But if we don't hear, how would I know what has to be done? And one has to hear from a bona fide authority. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Right? In further recommended in Mundaka Upanishad, what should to understand the trans one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. One has to understand. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Peej. You move around whole Brahmanda. Who is the luckiest soul? Bhagyavan Jeev, who got Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Peej, who got a guru who is putting the seed of bhakti in the heart. That's important. One should accept this opportunity to return home back to Godhead, not to earn money here. Very enthusiastically, I want to work towards going back to Godhead. Unless one has that enthusiasm, we cannot make it. Prabhupada says even in the material, one has to be very enthusiastic in the particular field. We gave an example about that shopkeeper. In all phases of life, one has to perform devotional service under the direction of spiritual master. Not that when everything is good, I will perform devotional service. That's a very important aspect. Endeavor executed with intelligence and Krishna consciousness called that utsaha, enthusiasm. There has to be intelligence. Not that I become lazy and say that, oh, this is what it is. And patience is very important because this is not easy to just get what we are looking for. Like a mother who wants a child, she said, no, I want a child now. No, it takes time, 9 months, right? So one has to have a patient. And then, in order to be successful, one must give up the association of undesirable people who are basically taking us away from bhakti, right? Devotional service means transcendental. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by three modes of material nature. We practice at least at sattva guna and go beyond that, right? And being patient, being confident, giving up the association, or following the regulative principles in the association of devotees, one is sure to advance in devotional service. So that's what we are covered. Let me see if I missed anything. Yeah. Since all the devotees of the Lord are under the protection of His supremacy, they should not deviate from the path of devotional and take the path of karmi. We have to practice bhakti, not any other process. So I think we would end here. It's already 8:35. Any questions or comments before we end? Any reflections? What did we learn today? Just last few lines, and then we'll end.
Enthusiasm, Prabhuji. It's not no.
Correct. Very nice. We studied six things we should not be doing, and we have studied which are harmful for devotional service, and we read six things which are helpful for devotional service. And then first one we talked about enthusiasm, second we talked about patience, we talked about not associating with mundane people, right? That's what we covered in third one. And then what else we did talk about? One should be, um according to regulative principle, one should hear and chant, and then following the great authorities like spiritual master. Wonderful. So we will end here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
We will
Right,
continue next
Prabhu.
week. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.